Man versus Technology as detailed by Paloff and Pratt. Instructional technology can be broken down into several different categories. First, streaming video, podcasting, blogs, and wikis. These are just some examples of the technology that you can use in your classroom. Each of these technologies brings something specific to the class and can augment and improve the class for your students based on their specific needs and what you would like to get across. All of these technologies are relatively simple to use and should be available to you in your school district or university. Streaming video can be pulled into an online course through sources like YouTube, TeacherTube, um, Annenberg Foundation, places like this. Podcasting, the iTunes website is probably the best place to get podcasting content. There are literally hundreds of categories of podcasts and thousands of free audio and video podcasts that you can bring into your course. And blogs and wikis are a great way to allow your students to construct their own pieces of the course. Online jargon. It's important to remember that being an academic course, we want to limit the amount of jargon and slang that goes on in the course. And this infiltrates a lot of times from cell phones and text messaging. So the use of text slang in an online classroom should also be fairly discouraged. We want to make sure that the students are keeping up an academic writing in their class because this is an academic environment. We want to make sure that we keep that academic environment intact. Using geek speak with your students, again, this kind of goes back to the online or the text slang, but using technical terms that your students may not understand, and also vice versa, having your students use technical terms that you may not understand. So you want to try and limit the amount of technical talk in the online course because we're not teaching technology, we're teaching our content. And finally, settling on a common ability level. So kind of the least common denominator, or the least common denominator. We want to make sure that that we're not talking over the heads of the students who may not be as tech savvy as some of the other students. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we're accommodating the students who may have a little more technical knowledge in the course. And a good way to facilitate this is to maybe have the students in your courses who are more tech savvy possibly even help the students who may not be as tech savvy, either through email or instant messaging, something like that. Technology as a facilitator. More is not necessarily better when it comes to an online course. Putting technology out there for technology's sake, that never really works very well in an online course or in a face-to-face course. In fact, your course management system, or CMS, should be functional and easy to use, visually appealing, and simple to learn. Ease of use. The user interface should be uncomplicated, so it shouldn't be cluttered, it shouldn't have a ton of buttons on it. It should be fairly simple and fairly straightforward and easy to click for all users, both instructors and students. The course should be intuitive, so if you design a section a certain way, keep that as a template and design your other sections in the same manner, because that will help the students to understand how the course works and where they can click to see things. The course should provide adequate direction. In fact, overemphasize directions in your course, because that will make the students' lives a whole lot easier. Visual appeal. This creates greater interest in the course for the students because the use of color, pictures, video draws the students' attention into the course and helps keep their interest focused on the course and helps to keep their attention from wandering to other websites, email, and outside distractions. It appeals to your visual learners, obviously, and helps to keep them more engaged in the course as well. It also allow your students to express themselves visually. So if your students want to create video discussions or podcasting discussions, things like that, don't discourage that. In fact, let them do that because if you think back to the 6 characteristics of effective online courses, this will help to promote transformative learning. And it also makes the students feel more connected to the course because of the richness of the visual appeal. Again, it draws them in, and it helps them to feel as though that they're more inside the classroom instead of just sitting behind a computer. Technical problems. Make sure you make backup plans for any technology you might be using, whether that be worksheets or videos or podcasting, because you never know when you're going to run into technical problems. And have an alternate communication system in place in case your CMS system does go down. You should know how to get in touch with your students outside of the course. And if the students have technical problems, they need to know where to go for that as well. So be very sure that you post that type of information in the course so if the student does run into trouble, they know who to contact. So if you have any questions about this topic, and please take a look at the threaded discussion question as well, post them in the forum below.